Just returned from Europe. Macron in France has said that he wants to install 1 million heat pumps by the end of 2025. We just signed a massive contract with a French company who will ultimately produce our heat pumps and products under license in France itself. In the meantime, we will be shipping them product in excess of $60 million. And the overall value of the contract over 5 years is almost $700 million.
Welcome back to another exclusive interview right here at SmallCapVoice.com. This time, I'm joined by Dalrada Financial Corporation CEO Brian Bonar. Now, if you haven't added Dalrada to your watch list yet, we want you to get them on there. They're traded currently on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol DFCO, and as their website says, the company is building solutions that reduce energy consumption while minimizing carbon footprints. And as their website also says, bold solutions for a better world. Now, Brian, right there's a lot to unpack for us to talk about here today. Welcome to the show. Thanks for making time for us.
Thanks for having me, Stuart. Look forward to talking to you.
Looking forward to speaking with you yourself, sir. So let's talk a little bit about the basic building blocks of the company. Tell us a little bit about the business model and the markets that your company operates in.
The business model is based on energy and pollution, and we've got a vast range of products that satisfy both of these elements. And at the same time, we don't consume as much power as most other products do. So it's pretty diverse.
Yeah, I can see that from visiting your website. Again, it's a beautiful website. I want everybody to be able to go there as well. Take a look when you get a chance to navigate, folks. But I always tell you to do it the same way. Go through that ticker symbol DFCO and find the company name. So let's talk a little bit then about the team and yourself as we get to know the company. We want to start with you as our guest. A little bit about yourself and what brought you to where you are today.
Well, I immigrated to the States from Scotland in 1984, having spent a number of years with IBM. Ended up down in San Diego, where the company is based, and got into this green energy product line almost by mistake. We were delayed somewhat because of COVID and some developmental problems. But fortunately, this year, we managed to pivot from being a developmental company into a sales and marketing company. And that's given us some unique challenges, but we are sitting on a wonderful opportunity today.
Well, unique challenges is where you find out what kind of management team you have, as well as if you're positioned correctly. So when we look back at 2023 and some of the major milestones, as you would see as the CEO of the company, whether it be cost-cutting measures or if we want to talk about the corporate structure of the company, let's talk about 2023 with the juxtaposition of how was management able to navigate that year?
Well, the company's reduced their SG&A by about $4 million in the last 12 months. That set us up quite nicely to focus on producing the products and shipping them.
Is there any convertible debt on the books as it stands today? I know there was debt that was converted into preferred shares, but I believe that's all held by insiders. Is that correct?
That's correct. And related parties. And we did that to show our confidence in the company. And we are all governed by Rule 144 and therefore restricted in any volume selling at any time.
Right. So viewers, that means leak out rules apply. That means less than 1% or as much as 1% of the trading volume for any day. Well, now as we look forward, here we are entering the end month, in other words, March of 2024, the Q1 first quarter, calendar first quarter. Talk to me a little bit about what your company is focused on here in 2024 and possibly some of the operational goals for the company. I know you've talked about some contracts, and in fact, I should mention, listeners and viewers, there was a wonderful press release put out by the company with an outlook from our guest today, Brian. Again, use that ticker symbol DFCO to find that. So Brian, for those who may have missed that press release, let's touch on that outlook for 2024.
Well, just returned from Europe, where heat pumps are very, very relevant. Not as much in the States, but in Europe. Macron in France has said that he wants to install 1 million heat pumps by the end of 2025. We just signed a massive contract with a French company who will ultimately produce our heat pumps and products under license in France itself. But in the meantime, we always sit shipping them products from our Scottish plant and our Spanish plant for the calendar year 2024. The calendar year shipments are in excess of $60 million. And the overall value of the contract over 5 years is almost $700 million. So the company is well and truly established. All we got to do now is produce the product and get it installed and keep moving forward.
Well, and Dalrada is a company that's defined by certain segments of the company. And in addition to what we talked about reducing carbon footprints and reducing emissions, you've also got other segments within your company. Specifically, in reading that outlook from you, we talk about the specialty pharmaceuticals market. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other endeavors for your company.
Sure. We got into the pharmacy business basically by COVID testing. When the COVID testing stopped, we continued to expand that product or that particular market segment, and that segment is growing exponentially and at a fantastic rate. It's helped contribute to our sales in the first 2 quarters of this year, our fiscal year. And I think that in the March quarter, we're going to see a substantial number coming from that pharmacy.
And you mentioned a moment ago France, but you really truly are an international player. I also see that you have some distribution agreements in Spain and Morocco. Can we get an update there?
Surely. The Moroccan one was the first one we established, and we are getting ready to install in 3 separate hotels in Morocco in the next 90 days. In Spain, we are building up the manufacturing plant there because the Spanish are pushing us to get our home heat pump available and installed. And we should be seeing installations there in the next 90 days as well. And in France, the actual distribution partner is also establishing their own manufacturing plants just outside of Lyon. And they've also got a showroom being established in Paris. So that it's pushing along very, very fast. Installations will occur in the next 90 days. And real shipments of volume will be happening in our 4th quarter, which is the quarter ending June of this year.
Well, very good. So one of the things that listeners and shareholders and viewers are always going to want to know about the company is, let's change gears a little bit. Let's talk about the corporate side of things. Let's talk a little bit about the path to profitability. But even before that, what does it look like for the company in terms of being cash flow positive? What's the timeline there?
We will be cash flow positive by the end of this calendar year.
Outstanding. Got to be music to the ears. So again, why did I say put this company on your watch list? Now is the time for you to start doing your due diligence to add this company to your portfolio as well. So let's then talk about, you are traded currently on the OTC markets, as I said at the outset. What about a plan to uplist? And is part of that plan, or would a reverse split be part of that plan?
A reverse split is not part of that plan. The plan is to grow the company substantially in sales to support the issued shares that are in the market today. And we don't anticipate a reverse split to achieve a stock price to allow us to uplist. We'll get that stock price by performing and doing our job.
Well, you as the CEO, the buck definitely stops with you. Brian, I'd love to get a little bit of your personality to come through here. It's a great time for you to address not only your existing shareholders who have been with your company, but the new audience that's seeing Dalrada for the first time today. What would you say to those investors?
Well, today we've now come past the stage of all the hard work, all the fears, all the projections, and we've now got hard start reality. The company's poised to ship product at significant profit levels. We've got a winning team that are all committed to get this across the goal line, and I'm committed. And I was asked before I came on this interview how long I've been at this, and I said it's too long, but it's maybe not too long. It's long enough for me to make sure I don't waste all these years of effort and get this thing to where it needs to be on the uplist, on NASDAQ, a national market, and get happy shareholders who are pleased to be a shareholder in Dalrada because of our performance and our profitability.
Well, I said it at the outset, it's a great time to add DFCO to your watch list. For Brian Bonar, this is Stuart Smith of SmallCapVoice.com saying thanks so much for tuning in.